Hi everyone.
Hello,
Happy New
welcome. Yes,
Year.
Happy New Year. Welcome to the first episode of the second season
Yeah.
of Beacon Live Sessions in 2021. Yes, great to see you here. And thank you for tuning in. We have a really exciting episode because this is going to be our first international episode. And yeah, it's going to be awesome to connect with a dear friend of ours who will come on in the second half of this show. But as always, I am Miss Lu,
And I'm Daniel Chia.
and we're here to share some stories and some music with you this evening. So if you're already here and you wanna, invite more friends to come and watch this live stream, go ahead and do that right now. And yeah. We hope more people will be able to join us and that we can, multiply the positivity and the optimism. Yeah.
So let's jump into the comments and see who is here bright and early with
Yes,
us.
we have Daryl.
Hey
Happy New
Daryl.
Year. Yes, happy 2021. What a start to the new year. That's right. And I think, we personally have taken the past 3 days kind of off to really reflect and to take stock of 2020. It's been very refreshing, and I think it's a great way to start off the year
Yeah.
because if if you skip that whole reflection process, I think it's very easy to kind of busy your days and clutter your mind with a lot of activity. But we really want to set our sights on the cross, on what's important to us, and yeah, I really enjoyed the past 3 days.
Yeah, and we actually taking the whole week off, so it's a lot of not just reflection but looking forward and
Mm,
seeing how we can, set our goals and priorities for this year and how it's going to be different from last year.
mm,
So yeah, I think I'm feeling already much more refreshed.
yeah.
Just arranging our schedules and our calendars to look more like how we really want this year to be.
Exactly. So let us know in the comment section how you've been spending the first few days of the new year and whether you have any reflections on what 2020 has been and what your greatest hope for 2021 is ahead. Let us know in the comment section and we'll be very happy to share that with everybody. And I
Yeah.
want to say hi to Mr. Heng who is
Hi, Mr.
here. Hello,
Heng.
Mr. Heng. We hope you're going to enjoy tonight's session and we want to say hi and a happy new year to Rico from Tokyo. Beautiful saxophone playing, yes. So
Wow.
if you were here early and you were tuning into the 10-minute countdown, what you heard in the background was actually from Daniel's Hillsong's album called Through It All, which is
Mm.
available for download.
Yeah.
And he's multi-talented, so he also played the keys on there. He also did you mix it?
I tried to.
Tried to, and then
Tried to.
Shane
Yeah.
picked
With
up
a lot of
the
help from
pieces.
Shane. Yeah.
So yes, it's available for download. It's actually complimentary. So if you like to contribute any amount, you can. But if you don't have the resources to, you can also still enjoy the music. We hope
Mm.
it blesses you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Daryl says that this year is his end level examinations year.
Wow.
Big year. So we're gonna be praying for you, Daryl, and we hope that it's gonna be a fruitful year of learning. Cause yeah, it's gonna be a big year. Great. Awesome.
Mm. Great. And maybe now will be a good time to start off with one song.
Yeah.
And actually, this song that I want to do is actually not a Christian song, but I think the lyrics are amazing. And what I'm going to do is, as I'm playing this song, I'm going to be putting the lyrics up on screen as well so that you can follow the lyrics. And it's just amazing, to always reflect and know that God is really there. And I think through so much of the sharing from our previous guests, he's just, he knows, every single hair on our head as well, and he's definitely never gonna forsake us. And this is actually a pop tune by Adele, and originally by Bob Dylan, and this is gonna be Make You Feel My Love, and hope you guys will enjoy this first song.
Such a beautiful
Right.
song.
Yeah, that was Make You Feel My Love. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that song and you were able to, reflect on the lyrics as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think one thing that really struck me as I was listening to an audiobook today is that the reason why God created us was not that he needed company. He doesn't need company. He already had that. And the reason why we were created was so that we could enjoy his love and so that, this life can be so beautiful if we take that first step to want to get to know him. So, yeah, it's a beautiful thing to wake up each day filled with our hearts filled with gratitude. And that's how, honestly, I feel every single day. And yes, hi Imelda. Hello,
Hey,
hello.
Melda.
From I forgot which episode,
I
but
think
from
episode 4.
episode 4 of Beacon Life Sessions. And actually, it was Imelda who introduced us to this perspective of
yeah.
Make You Feel My Love. And, to
Yes.
hear it being played on the saxophone is beautiful. Hopefully, those who are watching at home with the lyrics on screen, you were joining in and the singing. And yeah, there's nothing that, singing a tune can't lift the
Yeah.
spirits. Yeah. So I think we can go to the next song.
Yeah.
I've also prepared a couple of tunes for you guys this evening. Oh yes, Imelda says, yes, Jesus loves me and you guys, yes, and every single person who's watching this right now, or even if you're not watching the live stream, Jesus loves you as well. If you're watching this after the live stream ends, Jesus loves you too. Wilson says, awesome rendition of the saxophone.
Thank you,
So
Wilson.
awesome. Thank you for your kind comments. Enrico also seconds that opinion.
Thank you so much, Rico.
So nice. Thank you guys for tuning in from all over the world. If you're not watching from Singapore, let us know in the live chat right now where you're watching this from. And if you're watching on Facebook, feel free to join us on YouTube in the comments, in the caption that's above, so that you'll get better quality. And you can always put on headphones and enjoy the music and the conversations that are to come. Wow. Daryl says, I'm glad to be here relaxing and chilling after a hectic day at school. Miss Lou, your songs always make me feel like very calm and help me relax to keep my stress down. Thank you so much,
That's awesome.
Daryl. And it makes us so happy to hear that because we really want to, project some positivity and inject some positivity into the doom and gloom that might be happening. And to everybody who is starting school this week, very, very exciting. I wish you all the best in the year ahead. And yeah, if it's your first week of work as well, hopefully it's going to be a blessed week of getting things organized, getting things in order. And yes, the next song that I want to perform for you is this song called The Only Exception by Paramore. Not a Christian song either, but recently we had a conversation with a couple of friends over dinner, and we all know people who have been hurt by others in the church, or just other people who are believers, and who might feel that gulf now between themselves and God. And I just want to implore you to give it a shot again, because people are flawed, but Jesus is perfect, and his love is able to heal so many things. And I just want to bring up the song so that you can rethink about the lyrics and try to give all the hurting relationships and all that hurt, commit it to the Lord, and hopefully he'll be able to heal your heart. So here we go. This is The Only Exception.
When I was younger, I saw my daddy cry and curse at the wind. He broke his own heart, and I watched as he tried to reassemble it. My mama swore that she would never let herself forget. That was the day that I promised I'd never sing of love if it does not exist. But Jesus, you are the only exception, and you are the only exception, and you are the only exception, and you are the only exception. Maybe I know somewhere deep in my soul that love never lies. We've got to find other ways to make it alone, or keep a straight face. And I've always lived like this, keeping a comfortable distance. And up until now, I had sworn to myself that I'm content with loneliness, because none of it was ever worth the risk. But you are the only exception, and you are the only exception, and you are the only exception, and you are the only exception. Oh, exception, and you are only exception, and you are the only exception. Yes, you are the only exception, and you are the only exception. Yes, you are the only exception, and I'm on my way to believing. Oh, and I'm on my way to believing.
The Only Exception by Paramore, and whichever point you are in your journey right now, if you choose to be brave and open your heart and to invite Jesus into your heart, I promise He will be able to show you how much He loves you and how much He loves you, how much He knows you intimately despite everything that you've been through. And you know, I've been there myself. Before I was a Christian, I used to look at all the ways that Christians were hurting other people and marginalizing people, judging people. And I used to think to myself, I don't want to be part of that because these people seem very hurtful, you know, that is probably what their religion is all about. It's probably all about like self-glorification and things like that, despite what Jesus really stood for and what he taught when He was on earth. It wasn't until, you know, I was encouraged to put aside the ways that Christianity has been abused by flawed human beings, which we all are, and look to the life that Jesus led and what the Bible actually says about Him, that I slowly started to open my heart to what Christianity is really all about. So if you're there at that journey, at that same point, I implore you, trust and to open your mind and your heart, and you never know how you'll be surprised. Yeah. Let me say hi to some people in the comments. Thank you to Adrian Peter Delvey, who says beautiful rendition. He just joined our live stream. We want to welcome you here. Adrian, let us know where you're tuning in from, and we'll be very happy to give you a shout out whichever time of the day it is right now. Mark Vincent says, hello, bro.
Yeah, Mark's from Philippines.
Oh,
Saxophonist
wonderful.
From Philippines.
Hello,
Thank
Mark.
you for being here.
Thank you. We hope that your year has started off on a good note, and we really, you know, with this first live stream of the year, we want to project as much hope and as much optimism we have for the year that's to come. And we want to say hi to Nlet, saying, wow, nice and pure. Thank you so much. Adrian says, amazing duo. I'm blessed to stumble on your show. Thank you. Thank you, Adrian. Let us know where you saw this live stream on. And, you know, we would want to give you another shout out later. Can you teach me to play like you? Definitely, right?
Yeah.
So Chris is here as well. Evening.
Hey,
Good
Chris.
evening, Chris. So this entire Beacon Live sessions is very kindly and generously sponsored by Eden Resources, and Chris is part of that. And we are so thankful for you. We're so thankful that, you know, 2020 brought us closer to a lot of people, and we managed to, you know, be able to be connected with a lot of new friends, new people, and, you know, just really thankful for that.
Yeah.
Daryl says, lovely, thank you. Yes, amen. Jesus loves you. That's right. Jesus is really exceptional in the way that, you know, the creator of the universe came down as a mere baby, a human, to walk amongst us and to die for all of us on the cross, so that, you know, our sins can be taken away. So we have hope because He was resurrected on the third day. And that's where we place our hope in as Christians, and there's a certain hope for us to look forward to. Oh, Adrian is tuning in from Bangalore, India. Amazing.
Oh, awesome.
So wonderful. So good. Charles says, the little hairs on my arm was standing up on that last tune. Oh, thank
Thanks,
you.
Charles.
Thank you so much, Charles. That means a lot. Elvis says, hello, Happy New Year.
Hey,
Happy New Year to you
Elvis.
too, Elvis. And yes, we have a few more songs, And you want to introduce your next
Yeah,
song?
so the next two songs are actually hill songs. So this next one is called Magnificent, and it's actually also I've recorded it in my Christian album that I released, which you can find at danielchaofficial.com for free.
Yes.
You can download the whole album. So I really like this song, and I found this backing track. It's the original full band backing track. So I want to share this with you because we've just been reflecting on how amazing God has been, and
That's
I
right.
think there's no better word to sum up
Yeah.
what God is and how He has been in our lives. So I want to share this tune called Magnificent. Right, that was one of my favorite tunes called Magnificent. Hope you guys enjoyed that tune and also were able to look through the lyrics, and it's just such a simple song, simple melody, but
Yeah.
really, really so powerful as well.
That's right. And we have a lot of people who were, saying really nice things about that. But first, I want to say hi. Shout out to Nlet, who's watching from Cameroon, Africa.
Wow, that's
Wow,
amazing.
That's amazing. Thank you for joining us. It's so wonderful to have friends and brothers and sisters from around the world, tuning in, and that we can share in this time together. I want to say good evening to Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Michelle was on our show as well, episode 4 of Beacon Live Sessions. And, we've compiled all of the episodes into a playlist for you to enjoy. And you can find that on Daniel Chia's YouTube channel. So if you're not already on YouTube, come and join us. You can just get the link in the caption that's above the video if you're on Facebook. And Elvis says, let's enjoy. Yes, I hope you're going to enjoy, and we hope you'll be blessed by tonight's music sharing and stories that will come, especially our special guest for tonight who will be coming up very soon. So we have Alexandro saying, really brilliant saxophone performance.
Wow, thank you, Alexandro. Thank you
Yay.
so much.
So wonderful. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have Kyle, loving it then. Hello.
Oh, hi, Carl.
Finally see like a
I was
profile
trying to
photo that
figure
looks
out
like
who-
your face. Yes, Wild Kyle appears. Yay, hello. We
And my
have
mom is here.
Yes, my mother-in-law. Hello. Rory is so nice. Please, is that snooker billets? I really
Yeah,
have no
looks
idea what the
like-
difference
yeah.
is.
Nice to see you, Rory.
Please educate me. Thank you for tuning in. Daryl says, yeah, magnificent, lovely. Thank you so much, guys, for all the love. We feel the love. And we still have a few more songs for you. I think a couple more.
Maybe we'll just do one more.
Yeah, one more.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
we'll bring on our very special guest.
Yes, that's right. And this last song that I've chosen is a song by Switchfoot, actually. And this is, kind of written from the perspective of God, who is looking at his beloved children who are going through pain, going through suffering. And if that applies to you, hopefully this song allows you to know that God is there for you. He cares deeply about how you feel and your well-being. And I hope you'll be able to relate to this song. I won't let you go. He will never leave you or forsake you. When it feels like surgery and it burns like third degree, and you wonder, what is it worth? When your insides breaking in and you feel that ache again, and you wonder what's giving birth. If you could let the pain of the past go of your soul, none of this is in your control. If you could only let your guard down, you could learn to trust me somehow. I swear that I won't let you go. If you could only let go your doubts, if you could just believe
is currency, and you feel that urgency. You want peace, but there's war in your head. Maybe that's when life is born, when our facades are torn. Pain gives birth to the promise ahead. Oh, if you could let the pain of the past go, of your soul, none of this is in your control. If you could only let the gut down, if you could learn to trust me somehow, I swear that I won't let you go. If you could only let go your doubts, if you could just believe in me now, I swear that I won't let you go. I won't let you go. I'll always be by your side. If you could only let your guard down, if you could learn to trust me somehow, I swear that I won't let you go. If you could only let your guards down, if you could just believe in me now, I swear that I won't let you go. I won't let you go. I won't let you go. There ain't no darkness strong enough that could tear you out from my heart. There ain't no strength that's strong enough that could tear this love apart. There ain't no darkness strong enough that could tear this love apart. There ain't no strength that's strong enough that could tear this love apart. Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. I won't let you go.
And that was a song by Switchfoot, so powerful, called I Won't Let You Go. And I especially love the version that was done as a duet with Lauren Daigle. So go ahead and check that out if that's the first time you're hearing this song. Such a powerful, powerful song, and lets us know that the promise is that we won't be forsaken. So I wanna say, pull out some of the comments. Daryl says, I realize our Christmas tree is still behind. That's
Yes.
right. We haven't yet to pull it down yet. I think as long as it's before Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year, it's still Christmas. To me. So yes, we have friends joining us. Hi, Josephine. Thank you for joining us. Good
Hi,
evening to you
Josephine.
too. Wendy says, beautiful worship.
Hey,
You are
Wendy.
magnificent. Thank you, Wendy, for supporting us for at least the past 2-3 years already. So we're so glad that we got to know you through music and that you're still here and we get to journey together. Carl says, wow, what a song. I love this song so much. So for those who haven't heard it yet, please go and check it out. Wow, amazing song. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rory, for your kind words. Yes, so good. Old school stuff.
Yeah.
That's right. And I think now is a very good time to bring on our special guest for tonight. The first live stream of 2021. It's also our first international guest on the Beacon Live Sessions series.
Yeah. And he's none other than John Dip Silas. He's an amazing pianist from KL, Malaysia. And, you know, we've gotten to know John over the past few years and played lots of music with him and recorded with him as well. So, yeah, without further ado, we're going to call on John Dip Silas all the way from Malaysia.
All
Hey guys,
right. Hi,
Hey,
John.
John.
Hello,
how's it going?
hello. It's
It's
good.
good.
I'm gonna make sure that the settings are
Okay. Yeah,
good.
this is good.
This is good. Okay. All
All
right.
right.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you guys hear me?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for joining us from KL. It's
Yep.
awesome to have our first international guest on this live stream series. And, you know, beyond just being a friend that we've collaborated on playing music with, John was also there with us when you proposed.
Yeah. Wow. That was.
You
Yeah.
roped him in.
Yeah.
And I was
He didn't really have
unsuspecting.
a choice.
And I still
Yeah.
remember that. I think I still have a
So
video of it somewhere
hilarious.
on my phone.
Huh? What
Oh
did you
wow!
say?
You
What?
must send us
Oh
if
yeah,
you can
I still
yeah.
have
find.
a video of it somewhere.
Yeah.
Either on my phone or
Yes.
my computer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny. Next time we can share that story, but for now, we're so glad that you managed to join us tonight, and we are really really looking forward to hearing more of your
Mm.
stories and your music tonight.
Yeah. So maybe John, maybe you can share with our audience here, a bit more about yourself, what you used to do and what you are doing now.
Great, cool. Thanks for having me on the show, guys. It's been, man, I can't believe it's been quite a while since I last saw you guys in person.
Yeah.
Probably more than a year.
Um, so I am from Malaysia. Not originally from KL. For anybody who knows Penang, I'm from a little small town next to Penang called Kulim. Um,
Mm.
so usually I just tell people I'm from Penang because that's like
Mm.
the landmark that everybody knows. So I've been in KL for quite a number of years now. I have a beautiful family. I have an amazing wife and two little boys.
Yay.
A 4-year-old boy whose name is Hezi, and then a 14-month-old second boy whose name is Elisha. So they're both growing up really fast in the pandemic.
Mm.
It's quite interesting to see how kids handle this whole thing. But yeah, so I live in KL at the moment. I spent 10 years being a a professional freelance musician.
Mm.
Mm.
So you did gigs and all that. Had the privilege of coming down to Singapore quite a number of times actually.
Yeah.
In 2018, thanks to Dan who brought me down. That was a lot of fun. We did quite a number of
Yeah.
shows together. I think our first show was the Singapore Jazz Festival, right?
Was that our first?
I
Wow,
think so.
can't even
Yeah, that was
remember.
like
I
the
get.
first time we met in our first show together also. So we
Wow.
had
Wow.
like, heard each other's music online and stuff like
Mm.
that. And then you
Yeah.
entrusted
Yeah.
like someone you had never technically met in person to play in your band. And
That was fun.
yeah, so I had the privilege of doing that. I was lecturing music at a couple of universities in KL as
Mm.
well.
Mm.
And then 2 years ago, was offered a full time position by the church that I attend, which is called Kingdom City. Um,
Mm.
the position was to be the resident audio engineer in the house, and
Mm.
working on audio production stuff, writing music for the church and stuff like that. So that's what I've been doing the last 2 years,
Mm.
and
Wonderful.
yeah,
Yeah, we really miss you guys as well. Like
Yeah.
having not seen you guys for more than a year. We
Yeah.
haven't even seen Elisha yet.
Yeah. And I'm
Yeah,
sure
and
Hezi
yeah,
is
oh,
way bigger now already.
yeah,
But
he
that's
is.
yeah,
right.
we've had the fortune of going up to Malaysia quite a
Yeah.
few times, and we had John record on several albums as
That's
well.
Oh
right.
So
yeah,
it's
that's
always been great,
yeah.
and yeah, just always good fellowship, good hang. And yeah, even before I met John, I always knew him as this, amazing jazz pianist,
Mm.
killer chops.
Yes.
And so, I think the first time I asked John whether he wanted to play, I was like, trying to make sure he knows that my music is like smooth jazz and contemporary jazz, you know. But he said yes, and which is awesome because some pianists might be like, that's not my jam. So But even we've done some duo gigs together, and somehow,
Mm.
we're still able to click, although we come from, very
Yeah,
different,
yeah.
Yeah,
musical upbringings
that's right.
and music that we like. So
Mm.
it's been great, and we'll get to hear John perform a
Yes.
few songs tonight as well,
Mm-hmm.
live streamed all the way, from
Yeah,
Malaysia.
I'm so
So
excited.
yeah, and John, ever since I've known, about you, I've always seen you being very vocal about, your religion and your journey you've got on
Yes.
social media.
Mm.
Ever since, like, we were talking, and sometimes
Mm.
even musicians in Singapore that we've
Yeah.
known for a long time, we don't 100% know if they're Christian or not, even after 10 years. But
Mm.
for you, even before we spoke,
There's
I
no
could tell.
question. Yeah.
There's no question, because you've always used, social media as a platform to share, what
Mm.
you feel. Has that always been the case, or when did that start, that you feel like you wanted to share more on social media about your religion?
Yeah, great question. So I I mean, I grew up in a Christian home. My parents are pastors, so I've never known what it's like to not know Jesus. Sometimes I mean, there was a period of time where I felt like I was missing out a bit because I didn't know what it's like to come from a life that didn't know God.
Mm.
Uh, but obviously, growing up in church, growing up in the pastor's home, there are expectations, there are things that that are put on you that you don't get to choose. So I didn't get to choose my faith. I didn't get to choose how I lived my life. I was just told how to do it, and I think a big part of it was also because, yeah, when your parents are pastors, people in the church look at the family, right?
Mm-hmm.
To as like the biggest sign of whether or not the pastor himself practices what he preaches.
Mm.
So obviously I grew up with a lot of expectation. I grew up, like going for like Christian camps and Bible classes and all that. So I knew I knew stuff related to the Bible. I knew, why Jesus came, and what was the foundation of our faith. But I would say that for a long time that was just head knowledge. There was things
Mm.
I knew because I was brought up the way I was brought up. Um, and I guess I didn't realize that it wasn't actually real to me until I left home to go and study and went overseas.
Mm.
Sorry. Went overseas to study and was away from my parents for the first time in my life. Didn't have anybody telling me what to do, didn't have anybody
Mm.
telling me how to behave and stuff like that. And obviously, like when something is just head knowledge and not a deep conviction in your heart, you haven't decided that that's how you want to live your life. It's only going to like be there. It's sooner or later it's gonna that facade is gonna wash away.
Mm.
So yeah, so I guess when I first entered the music industry and first was introduced to what pursuing music as a career can be like, I would say that, yeah, my motivations were, I guess, the way, I wanted to fit in. I wanted to make it as a musician, and then you hear of expectations in the music industry of how you must behave,
Mm.
the kind of people that you need to hang out about, the kind of places that you need to go.
Mm.
So yeah, I guess I I I struggled with insecurity at the time. I was trying to please people in my life. I was looking for affirmation from people around me, things around me, from what I did. I wanted people to like me.
Mm.
So yeah, lived a certain way that went against certain principles that my parents had taught me growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And I started making decisions. I started to want to make decisions that yeah, that was just contrary to how I was always taught a Christian should live. And I guess it got to the breaking point for me was when I looked at my life and went, wow, I'm a different person to who my parents actually brought me up to be. And it wasn't that I felt guilty about that, but I felt lost. I felt that, wow, I actually don't know who I am. Because on one hand, like, yeah, I get to live my own life. I get to do whatever I want to do, and nobody's there to judge me or police me because I had to stop going to church for a period of time and things like that. But also felt very lost, like just going like, I don't know what the future is gonna be like. I don't know um what my purpose in life is. I don't even know why I'm alive, and I was in China at that point because I was doing a 2 month gig there. Um, and I remember like looking around me one day in the club that I was playing at, and I saw people that I guess I saw almost saw like what my life would be like, where like, okay, I'm playing in bars, I'm playing in clubs, and this is probably gonna be me for the rest of my life. And it felt deeply unfulfilling, if I can find a way to describe it. I just went like, is that all like that life has? As much as I love playing jazz, it just felt very unsatisfying and unfulfilling to think that that's all my life will be, just performing in clubs and playing music, and that's it. And I felt like there has to be something more, and I started to remember some of the things that my parents had taught me when I was growing up about um, who God is and who I am as a child of God, and realized that I had never actually experienced God in a very real way before, where like the Bible says He's our Father, but I had never actually known what that feels like, because I didn't have the best of relationships with my dad when I was growing up, because of, and it wasn't his fault, it's just the circumstances that we grew up in with so much pressure and expectation on my family. So I felt fatherless, and I felt like, wow, like I don't know what it is like to actually have a dad. And then the Bible says God's our father. So it's like, okay, what does that actually mean? And yeah, I for the first time in my life, I prayed. I had, grown up praying, obviously, but this was probably the most sincere prayer I ever prayed. Well, it's like, God, if you're real in the way that my parents have been saying you are, and what I have heard about in the Bible, if that is who you really are, you have to show me, because I really feel like there's no reason for me to be alive if life is, if that's it. There's nothing that I feel like actually brings me fulfillment in my life. And I felt the peace of God in that moment. And it wasn't like overwhelming, but it was more than anything I'd ever felt before. And I was like, wow, I suddenly felt like a new perspective. Like my problems were not as big as they were. And yeah, just started to make that a daily thing of just going back to Him and say, okay, God, I don't know how to hear your voice. I don't know how to connect with you, but um, this is where I'm at. This is how I feel. So can you reach out to me? And then I will feel this sense of peace come upon me. And then when I came back from China, I got connected to the church that I'm now part of, Kingdom City. And yeah, just I guess over the years, um, started to have encounters with God that were just really defining. And I guess how that leads to, sorry for the long backstory, but I wanted to give the context, and how that led back to me being vocal about it in on my social media, on my platforms where people can see me, and even like at gigs and all that. I would write songs
Yeah.
uh about my faith, and I would tell people the story behind it.
Yeah.
uh you know I guess for me, because I met God at such, or rather I met Him in a real way at a very low point in my life. I feel like I know what it's like to have a life without God. Um, not without knowing God, but without choosing to follow Him. And yeah, I feel like it's become a conviction now. It's become something that is like deep in my heart, where I'm like, yeah, if I don't want life without him, so I might as well just have him completely in everything I do. And I think naturally that just flowed out of me. I wasn't trying to be like that evangelist, I wasn't trying to be that radical Christian musician. I think naturally it just flowed out of me because I couldn't imagine life without him, or any part of my life that just didn't have him in it. And yeah, naturally I feel like a desire just comes to want to share with people about him. And he opens doors for you to share. He opens doors for you to pray for people, and sometimes people read some of the testimonies I share on social media, non-Christian musicians, and they send me messages saying that they're encouraged and stuff like that. So yeah, obviously, it was a journey, and also learning how to be sensitive as well in the way I share, because not everybody is ready to listen. And yeah, not trying to force anybody to listen, but I think naturally that comes out of you when you really experience him in a real way, and your faith becomes something more than just a set of rules, or like a good tradition that you continue, uh, or even just a positive or good belief system. Because I think a lot of people sometimes think that we have we believe in God because we want to have a positive outlook on life, and although that comes with it, like, but I think when we really experience His grace and His love in in the times when we need it the most, um, yeah, it suddenly becomes real to you. You know, I, I mean, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, it's so much more than, like, even in this pandemic, I'm just thinking about how, like, we haven't been able to go to church, and obviously, for a lot of Christians, we're being challenged with the idea that, okay, we don't have a church, but do we still have our faith? Do we still have our relationship with God? Is He still real to us, or was it just did we own was He only as real as our church meetings were? You know, and those who have always had that real connection with Him, it doesn't change. It doesn't get watered down. It doesn't, because He's still as real in your bedroom at home, whatever you're doing, as He was in church and all that. So yeah, so that's a little bit of my story.
Yeah. Thank you for taking us through that backstory, and we are so grateful that you're at this point in your life, and that you're able to let the all of the blessings and all of the love and everything that you feel about God just feel out like flow out naturally from you. And I think, just as an encouragement to anybody who's watching right now, if you feel like, oh, it's so awkward, I don't know where to begin, I don't know how to share, I want to be sensitive, I guess from John's example, you have to start trying first, and then you will know by from practicing how to do that, to know where to hold back, and how to how to make it accessible for people. But
Yeah,
just let it flow out from a very real place of your own encounter with God.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'll say, like, honestly,
yeah,
Mm.
we just need to love people and
Yeah.
understand that everybody's on a process,
Mm.
um and I think if we also love God, we hear this all the time: love God and love people. I think
Mm-hmm.
loving people gives us the sensitivity towards where they are. When you love someone, you don't just try to force your ideas on them. You actually listen to them. You hear where they are at in their life. And I think
Mm.
loving God, what that does is it allows you to be able to sense when the right time is to also share. So I think it's like both ways. We love people, and we're kind to people, and we're there for people. But loving God helps us to see beyond just the surface, how they're doing. And yeah, God speaks, and he can speak to your heart about where that person is at. And yeah, I think it's a journey of just learning how to follow that.
yeah. And I think I've seen you, multiple times, in public, where it seems like you receive a word from God, and you offer to pray for that person, and sometimes, as people of different race and religion, but I've seen that personally from you, multiple times, which amazes me. So and something we or I struggled with a lot last time was even with the social media platform, like just that feeling of, okay, maybe I should watch what I say, and not mention about God so often. But I think last year was definitely a changing point for me to be able to just that's how I feel. So I shouldn't be
Yes.
suppressing it, when I feel like sharing it. But and yeah, it's been a journey, definitely. So, and I think now might be a good time, before we talk more about what you're doing currently with Kingdom City. Maybe you'd like to share a song.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
So what
Uh,
what song would you like to share?
okay. So this song is um I was gonna say, if you are over the age of 30, you know the song. I'm kidding. So this song is, well, it's an old song. Excuse me, sorry guys, I've got a bit of like a
No
sniffle.
No
problem.
worries.
This is an old hymn, and it's actually one of my favorites. Number one, because of the message in the song itself, but also second reason is just the way it sounds. I feel like it's got such a great melody, and there's a lot of stuff you can do to the harmony of it. So yeah, so I'm gonna play this song called "Great Is Thy Faithfulness" for you guys.
Awesome.
Hope you guys enjoy this one.
Hey John, we can't hear you. We're not getting any signal. Could you double check your side? Okay, maybe you play something, then we can check. There we go. goosebumps, man.
Yeah.
Thank
Just
you so much.
Sorry about
so
the distortion,
blessed
the
by that.
distorting.
No,
No, no
it's cool,
worries
man.
about it. We were all so blessed by that rendition, man. Just want to pull out some comments we have. Michelle, who is a keyboardist, saying,
Hi,
"Indeed,
Michelle.
great is his faithfulness." And we also have Chris saying, "Moving rendition of a wonderful
Oh,
ageless hymn."
thanks, Chris.
Couldn't agree more. So, so beautiful. And yeah, that's unchanging,
Yeah.
And I just wanted to, since just now you mentioned about your own relationship with your father, I wanted to ask you, how has becoming a father changed that relationship and maybe changed some of your perspectives on that relationship with God too as a spiritual father?
Man, if I start talking about everything, this might go on for forever.
We have time,
Yeah.
Please
man.
go on,
Yeah.
yes.
Look, the I heard someone say once that you um it's like a paradox where it's like you don't learn how to become a father until you learn how to become a son, but you also learn how to become a son when you become a father. So um I mean that okay, that hopefully that hasn't confused anybody. So I'll explain it in a moment. So um I think, man, like being a dad has taught me so many things. It's taught me um first of all how difficult it is to be a dad. And I think when I became a dad, like naturally all the offense and the hurt that I had against my own dad, right, was like I was like, man, this is like small stuff. He went through so much more, raising me than than I did. And yeah, and I guess I realized that it made me look at my dad and go, wow, he did his best, being my dad, and he's not perfect, and no earthly father is perfect, but he did his best, and I really learned to appreciate him so much more. uh just seeing my sons navigate through life. Well, I mean, one more than the other because the 40-month-old there's not much life that he's lived yet, but my 4-year-old son, uh he yeah, he he can communicate, he can do a lot of things now. And yeah, just seeing how he processes things, seeing how he deals with his own feelings on things. I think it's taught me that, man, the weight of being a dad is huge. The privilege to be a father is like massive, and it's something that I can't do in my own strength, because it's like I tell people sometimes, like I have a bad day at work or whatever, like I'm out, someone gets me angry in traffic, some car comes in front of my car, or like doesn't move out of the way, and I like I get upset. But then I come home and I need to be a dad, you know and it's almost like I need to be able to put all those things aside, because now it's time for me to spend with my son. And that's not easy. That is difficult because there's so much of yourself that you need to lay down. And then you also realize, wow, that's how much our Father God does for us, you know and yeah, there are times when my son is at an age now where he knows his choices, he knows his ability to make choices, and he knows that uh yeah, sometimes he chooses not to listen. He chooses not to do what we tell him to do. And yeah, sometimes you get upset by that, you get angry at that, but then you realize, wow, the number of times in my own life that I chose not to do what God told me to do. And sometimes very consciously doing that. I knew that I was supposed to do something, and I went against that, and still, like, God is so patient with us, and He's so kind, and when we come to our senses and we realize, wow, like, yeah, God, I'm sorry, I should have just listened. He doesn't stand there with a pointing finger, pointing at us, going, hey, like, you didn't do this, so you need to be punished for that. You need to go stand in a corner and and feel bad about yourself before I take you back in. He doesn't do any of that. And yeah, so I guess like it's like being a dad has made me realize that, but I think realizing that has taught me how to respond to my kids, if that makes sense. It's like realizing, looking at my own life and going, wow, this is how God fathers me. It's taught me how to father my kids. And in those times when I really like want to lose it at them, I remember, okay, he doesn't do that to me. So I can ask him to help me to not do that to my kids. So yeah, so yeah, I hope that answers the question.
It does. Makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. It's so beautiful to know.
Yeah, and we've spent time with you and Radiance and Hezi.
Yeah.
It's just amazing, and seeing how there's so much love, and despite us rushing around for gigs when we're
Mm.
when we're over in KL, but yeah, just amazing to see
Yeah.
how you've been able to juggle all of that as well. And we know last year was a crazy year, and we've seen firsthand examples of the full-time staff in our church. It's just with the pandemic, there's just everything
Mm.
being shifted online.
Yeah.
So I also wanted to ask you, how was last year for you, with what you did in church. And we've seen some of your services, at least one Sunday service. Can't remember which service, but
Mm.
man, the production and everything is
Wonderful.
just amazing, and I can only imagine how much work went into it. So
Yeah.
how was last year for you working with Kingdom City and online?
I just had this joke. I was gonna say last year has not ended for me yet. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, I
It's
mean,
part two.
yeah. I mean, I'm very blessed to be part of an amazing family, spiritual family.
Mm.
Um, I guess media and technology and production, like this excellence in production, is something that we hold at a very high value. Our pastors they have very strong vision when it comes to these things. So I think when I came on, like sometimes some people, I mean, I've heard some people share that they work in some sort of corporate or marketplace kind of job, or even musicians, and then when they uh decide to go full time with the church or anything, it there is a sense of like, oh, okay, I'm sort of stepping back, or I'm sort of settling, or sort of pivoting direction. I think for me, it didn't feel that. For me, it really felt like I hit the ground running, because of the great vision that our pastors have for for our whole media side of things. So they're big believers in it, and there's a lot of room for me as the audio person running the studio to dream about stuff. And I'm always encouraged to dream big and dream far ahead, and they're very encouraging. So I think that's really just provided an avenue for me to grow. Production was not something that I was formally trained in. It was something I dabbled in since uni. I've always had like that little bedroom studio setup. Every house I lived in, there was like that one room that would be like the studio. So that kind of thing. But I never really did any of it. Never really did any of it professionally. Never got paid. I mean, maybe like one or two projects, but that wasn't my main thing. It was like I perform and then I come home. I'm like, okay, I want to just go into the studio and just create stuff. And then suddenly to be offered that as a job, that itself was already like a huge a huge step to take. But last year, yeah, because suddenly everything is um online, and
Mm.
I was there was just me and two other staff. One was in KL, one was in Perth, because we have a Kingdom City in Perth as well, and we were working together to produce online service. But there was just three of us handling everything, and we did like
Wow.
a Sunday online service. I mean, we're still doing it, and we have a kids online service as well. So it's like a lot of things that we were doing, and every week there's new material, and every week there's, essentially we were functioning like a production house with only like three people doing multiple projects. So yeah, so it was a really stretching year. I had to really learn. I feel like in the last year I've grown the equivalent of maybe, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of experience. And a large part of it was learning how to do things faster, but still do it well. Learning how to do it efficiently, learning how to learning what the priorities are, what matters, and what is not so important. You know, and our team's grown. Currently have 6 audio people, running everything, in terms of media that we do at Kingdom City. So that's definitely helped me, where I'm not the only one handling it anymore. And the guys on board are like incredible. I don't do all the work. We spread it out. I oversee the team, but everyone has like an equal share of carrying the weight, and they're incredible, and we were very blessed. So, yeah, I mean, the last year has been really great. I mean, obviously, it's the start of the pandemic, and throughout the year, you discover things about yourself that you're like, man, like I didn't know, like I'm that kind of person, or like I didn't know that would be a challenge in my life, you know. But then, yeah, I guess being part of a great church family community, and just having people to talk to about these things, helps you process it in a healthier way, and not in isolation, where you're just kind of buried by your own emotions of the circumstance. But yeah, I feel like me getting through last year was not my own effort. It was definitely the effort of people around me, alongside me. So yeah.
Mm. Did you still have time to do any jazz gigs like the early part of the year before the pandemic?
Um, yeah, I think I did one or two. I can't remember. This is the thing. It feels like last year was like 10 years. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
last year was like so many things just went by. You're like, what? Sometimes you're even struggling to remember what I did like a month ago. But I think I did one or two. And then unfortunately, um, you know, the pandemic hit, and all these clubs had to close down, and it was really sad seeing like some really iconic clubs in KL uh closing their doors because, yeah, there's no business, they can't run the place. And also I had a lot of musician friends who found themselves in a bad way, just financially had to sell their instruments. Some of them I know had to start like different businesses, had to like, I mean, in a way it was good because people were forced to be creative and figure out and think outside of the box. But it was also, yeah, it was not easy. And I was really, really thankful, and I still am, that that wasn't my main source of income, and that wasn't the my main way of life anymore. Because yeah, I really can't imagine what I'm terrified to think about what would have happened to our family if that was the only way that income was coming in, through gigs like what I was doing for 10 years before that, because we had never faced a situation like this before, so yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the scene in KL is honestly still very far from recovering. I know like that people are doing like online shows like what you guys are doing, but it's just not the same, as like playing in front of a live audience, playing in a club, and things like that. So yeah, I really hope that things get better that way now.
Yeah. Are the clubs in KL like No Black Tie and Bobo? Are they still around? And
So Bobo is still around, because Bobo is primarily a restaurant with a jazz club with it.
Right.
But No Black Tie and a few other clubs that um are primarily a jazz club or a music venue with a bar, with a restaurant, but the main purpose is music venue. Yeah, a lot of them have closed down. So No Black Tie has, I mean, the building's still there, and I saw recently they did like one or two private shows there, but there are no more public shows there. Yeah. So yeah.
is live music allowed or is it banned totally in Malaysia?
Um, so I think in some places I've noticed that um there are some venues that have opened. I mean, honestly,
Mm.
it's so confusing what the SOPs here are. They change every week,
Oh
and
dear.
we hear one thing in the news, but then it something else is
Mm.
actioned. So I think some places have reopened for a very small crowd, but
Mm.
there are a couple of venues. I think there's one called Jau Team that has actually been doing
Heard of it.
performances every week, if I'm not mistaken. But it's all online, so they don't have an
I
audience.
see.
So they just have
Okay.
the musicians and a
Okay.
couple of I think media, video and audio and video
Mm.
crew there lah,
Yeah.
just to help
Right.
stream it out. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah,
Mm.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
For us, it's been a total standstill.
Yeah.
Just blanket ban. Rule. Just no live music in
Mm.
yeah,
public venues, except those that are given special permission by the
yeah,
government, like
yeah.
Esplanade. We were just able to do one recently,
Yeah.
but yeah, no. Even at weddings, yeah, just
Yeah,
blanket ban.
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
same,
So.
same here. Yep, yeah.
Mm.
But
Just been
yeah,
extra cautious with the rolling out of the easing of the measures.
yeah.
So yeah.
But Singapore's doing so well, though. I mean, you guys are incredible
Mm.
at following the SOPs laid down by your government over
Yes.
here.
We are blessed with
Not
Yeah.
always
a
like that.
strong
Let's just say that.
government that I
Yeah,
mean, of course, it's tough, and I mean, there are also many musicians and
Yeah.
creatives, freelancers here,
Mm.
hurting from
yeah,
more than 9 months, 10 months. It's going to
Yeah.
be a year of no income coming from these sources, but
Yeah.
but it's starting
we're
to ease in
definitely
some of the
glad.
restrictions, right? So
Yeah, it's
hopefully that.
easing up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So now still no vocals, no wind instruments.
yeah, I heard
Specifically,
that.
no vocals and no wind instruments.
Yeah.
So
So, but
fun.
it's good, lah. I mean, most
Yeah.
importantly is the cases are very controlled. I
Yes.
think
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
the most
That's great. That's
important.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like you said, it has forced us to be creative. And I
Yep.
think, like, if we want to change our perspective on it, then, it could be a good thing that the world was going to digitalize anyway. And we just had like an accelerator
Yeah,
pedal
yeah,
to the metal
Yeah.
from 0 to 100 to
Yeah.
really get that happening.
yeah,
So yeah, really can't complain for the both of
Yeah.
yeah,
us actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm so glad that tonight we were able to catch up,
Yeah, man.
with
Same
other
here.
people watching.
Yeah.
It's like publicly
Yeah.
catch
Public catch
up,
up.
and yeah, but
Welcome to our hangout session, guys.
yeah,
Yes.
it's been too long, and almost forgot how you sounded like playing your instrument already.
Oh
So
man.
it was
Yeah.
definitely good to
Oh,
to
it was
hear, and yeah,
so
just
good.
like first chord, and it's like goosebumps already.
Yeah, like a warmth through my body,
Yeah,
man.
I think
So,
we
so good.
will definitely talk about another project. I'm planning to do a second, Christian instrumental album.
Yes.
Yeah,
So yeah,
let's
I
do it,
think we
man.
can
Do
definitely
it.
talk
Yeah,
about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe now would be good time for you to you want to play one more tune for us?
sure. Yep. So this tune that I want to play for you guys is a tune that I've actually played at a lot of shows over the years. It's one of my favorite tunes.
Mm.
It was actually written during. Do you guys remember the when the tsunami hit Banda Aceh, and
Yes.
I think this was back in 2001, right?
Or
Like
2003, something like
2003?
that.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, in the early 2000s,
Mm.
and it was just tragic, and a lot of people died,
Mm.
things like that.
Mm.
And there was a famous composer called Vincenzo Mendoza
Mm.
who has written a lot of film music.
Mm.
And he decided to write a song in tribute to the people who had lost their lives in the tsunami, and just to bring encouragement to people. And I feel like it's also really apt in the current season that we're in. That a lot of people, um, maybe are feeling discouraged because of plans that got cancelled, or just dreams that they had about what this year is like, or even just the
Mm.
uncertainty of where we're headed.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to make plans. It's so hard to like know what's gonna happen in a month from now. Um,
Mm.
but I hope that this song encourages you. This song is called Esperanza, which is the Spanish word for the word hope.
Mm.
And yeah, so I want to play this song for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy this.
Thank you.
Esperanza.
Yep.
Yeah, I never
I think
knew
Kurt Elling
that
did a
band
cover on
did.
it. It's really, yeah, really
Oh,
cool to hear that.
wonderful.
You should check out the vocal version. The words
I
are pretty,
will.
Hmm.
cool. Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you so
Thank you so
much.
much for bringing that rendition to everybody here watching this live stream right now. And also, before we go, I'd like to ask you a question
Yeah, sure.
about, is there a biggest lesson you've learned from 2020 that you would like to take into your life in 2021 and beyond?
Um, wow. That is yeah. I mean, sometimes you're so caught up learning the little lessons that it's hard to see what the big lessons. I think
Mm,
I think one of the things is definitely uh hope is something that is not determined by our circumstances.
mm,
It's not determined by our predicament. We are not more hopeful when things are going well in our life, or even when we can see what we're hoping for. Um, but for me to remain hopeful, which I found was something that was really important in the pandemic, because it's so easy to just throw the towel and think that uh, look, this could last for God knows how long, and
Yeah.
like that's it, my life is over, whatever, right?
mm,
And some people feel that, and that's a really difficult place to be. So I don't take that lightly, but I've found that the thing that has actually kept me waking up with purpose, because life still goes on, and we still need to find a way to make something out of the situation, and the driving force behind it for me has had to be hope,
mm,
because everything else just you know I guess made me feel like I was so focused. I would end up being so focused on the stuff that just wasn't working out. um and yeah, the biggest lesson I'd say was learning that hope is not something that is circumstantial. It is not determined by what I'm going through, but it is by me choosing to focus on something beyond my current situation, and really, like when everything, and I think last year was a year where we learned that, yeah, everything can be shaky, and
mm,
you can lose sight of what's next in your life or where you're headed. But the one thing that doesn't change, and I think a lot of us have learned even more, is God and His goodness and His faithfulness. And when I keep my eyes focused on that, suddenly hope becomes something that I find that I have, and it's not something I need to work out, or it's not something that I need to, you know, wait until the pandemic is over before I feel it.
Mm.
But yeah, it's not just a feeling that I feel, but
mm-hmm.
it's something that I suddenly have an outlook and a perspective that I know doesn't just come from me looking at what's happening around me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And we couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And, I think we are very blessed as Christians to be able to have a hope that is not like wishful hope, wishful thinking, but it's a certain hope that we can have in Jesus Christ. And yeah, thank you for sharing that with us, sharing the beautiful music, the stories, the heartfelt
Yeah.
lessons that you've learned. And yeah, we want to send all our love to
Uh,
you, Radiance,
yeah.
Hezi, and
Yeah.
Elisha. And
Thanks.
yeah, hope to see you in person soon.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I know.
Either when the
But
borders open.
Yeah,
yes,
Yeah.
man.
I will
We
be
can't
on
wait to.
one of the first few flights. As we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking
Yeah.
forward
We'll
to
Yeah,
that.
definitely
that'll be
have a
really fun.
lot to
That'll be really good. Yeah,
connect
Yeah.
and catch up more in
yeah,
person. And
yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
hopefully, please keep you know doing the amazing work with Kingdom City.
Yes.
I mean, it's I can only imagine how much hard work it is as well. But
Mm.
yeah, we've seen it, and we've seen you on stage in church as well.
Yeah,
The music sounds great, and
Yeah.
yeah, and we hope to connect, even virtually
yeah,
more often. And yeah, we're just so appreciative of your time and your very open sharing.
Mm.
That really means a lot. And yeah, for those of you, if you joined us late, this video will still be on YouTube.
That's right.
And you can rewatch any portions of it even after we end today's session. And once
Mm.
again, we want to thank Chris Chua for sponsoring this session. And yeah, I think next few sessions are gonna be really exciting. It's going to be a mixture of local um, guests here in our studio as well as international guests. So keep looking out on our social media pages,
right.
and we're gonna share. Next week's episode will be right here. Our guest is from Singapore, and we are looking forward to another blessed time of sharing and more music as well.
Yeah, so a big thank you to John, and we want to
Yeah.
say God bless to everybody watching this. Good night, goodbye. See you at the
And
next
see you
episode.
guys next week.